Okay, so welcome to this Algorithmic Adventures Masterclass. We're going to be looking at our new workshop, which is based around Jack and the Beanstalk. Without further ado, I'm going to go on to the Digital Schoolhouse website and just talk about where you'll find the resources initially, and then we're going to do a bit of a whistle-stop tour through the resource, and then if there's any questions, feel free to pop them in the Q&A section, which I'll just show where that is now by sharing my screen. Let's see, hopefully this will work so you can see. So the Q&A section is just here. So if you do have any questions as we're going through, pop it in there and then I'll check if there's any questions at the end and go through them with you. So what we're going to be doing, as I said, we'll start with what is where to find the resources themselves. So first of all, as usual, the resources are on the Digital Schoolhouse website. If you're navigating from the home page, you want to go to For Teachers and then click on Resources. That will take you to our resources page. You can obviously use the direct link as well. And you then go to the workshop section. And we are using one of our VR plugins. So you can see it here. This is the one that we're going to be looking at, Algorithmic Adventures Jack and the Beanstalk. And you'll need to find that within the actual workshop A to Z section. And the one that we're going to be using is here. If you click on that, you'll get all the resources here, plus a little bit of a description. So if your schools are asking for a bit more information about the workshop itself, this is where you'll find that information. So what key stages it's suitable for, what curriculum links it has included in it, what computing elements are covered by the workshop, so a small description of the workshop as well, and also roughly how long it should take. So this is designed to be a 1 to 2 hour session. It could easily be extended, and I'll talk a little bit about that at the end. The workshop resources themselves are just at the bottom. You'll find the teacher guide, the teacher presentation, and also the worksheets are just there. So that's where you'll find everything in terms of what you will need to run the workshop. You also will need to have set up your account on Class VR, and I'll just show you where that is. Let me just move this out the way because it's slightly in my way. There we go. You will also need to log into the Class VR portal. If you don't have a Class VR login, you'll need to arrange that with the regional lead that you've borrowed your Class VR headsets from. They should send you a link which will allow you to create your own account, but it will also then be linked to their account, so you'll be able to share resources that you create with them as well. So the resource that we're going to be using in this particular workshop is the Jack and the Beanstalk resource. So the way to find that, you go to Search Libraries, and then in the search text box, you want to just search for Jack and the Beanstalk. As you can see, I've been searching for this previously, and it will bring up the playlists that have a resource that matches that in it. So the one that we're going to use is already inside the fairy tale section, and then you can just drag in Jack and the Beanstalk into the playlist. Then to send that to your headsets, all you need to do is just click on this icon here. That will send the playlist directly to the targeted devices, so any devices that are connected to your account, and it will also download all the content ready for them to use. So as far as we're concerned, that means the resource that you want to use has been sent to the devices ready to use for your VR workshop. If you don't have Class VR headsets, you can run this without them. As I've discovered, if you go to the Deliver section, it will bring up the resource that you've got selected in the playlist. And if you press play, you can actually preview the resource. Oh, I apologise. If you click on Class View, I think it is. No. I discovered that you can definitely view it. Let me see if I can get it to work. Oh, the wonders of live, doing things live, hey? Let me just see if I can get it to come up. No. It must have changed some settings since I last used it. So the last time I used it, you could click on it and it would actually let you wander around the resource directly inside the Class VR player, and you could then share the link. But I guess someone's got wise to that, and it's not so easy to do. But I have put the link that lets you do that in the notes in the teacher guide, so I'll show you where to find that as well. So there is a way of running it without using the Class VR headsets if you want to, but I think probably most people will be using the Class VR headsets for this. So that's how you set them up in terms of sending the resource that you need to use in the session to the VR headsets. You can also view what the students are viewing by going to Class View. that will allow you to see what they can see in their headset. So if you want to see how far they've wandered around the experience, that's where you can go into class view and then see where they're up to in terms of navigating the scene. Right, so let's have a little look at the resources themselves. So you will get, there's a little bit more in my folder than the ones that you can download from the website, but we've got obviously a teacher guide, we've got the teacher presentation, worksheets, and those are the main resources that you'll find on the workshops section of the Digital Schoolhouse website. As I was saying earlier, if you want to run this without using a VR headset, what you do is you add the Jack and the Beanstalk scene to the playlist, then you click on it. It will take you to the Jack and the Beanstalk page, which gives you lots of information about it, including like learning objectives and other ways that you can use the resource in your classroom. So if you wanted to extend the learning or do something slightly different to what the workshop itself talks about, there's more examples in there. But if you click on this Explore the Scene in Eduverse button, it will open up the scene in Eduverse. And this is the link that you can then share with your students. So your students can then explore the Class VR Jack and the Beanstalk scene on their computer without needing to use a VR headset. So what you could do, for example, is put your students in pairs. One person can explore the Eduverse scene using this URL on their computer. And maybe they turn their screen so they can't see what each other's doing, and then the other one then designs the map in the Jack and the Beanstalk workshop. Sorry, my brain's going. In the Jack and the Beanstalk worksheet pack. There you go. That's what I was looking for. So there you go. So as I was saying, click on the actual Jack and the Beanstalk resource in the playlist. Click on the Explore Scene in Eduverse. It takes a while to load the scene, but once it's loaded, you can then actually explore the scene in Eduverse, and then you can explore it without needing to use the VR headsets at all. You can navigate around it using arrows and also using your mouse. Anyway, hopefully that's useful for you. So I'll talk you through the teacher guide and the teacher presentation. So the resource, we've color coded our new shorter versions of the workshops in this red color scheme. So you'll start to see the blue sets of resources are the longer half to full day workshops. And if you see that they're red, that means they are a 1 to 2 hour session designed to be a shorter session that you can run either in a standard lesson block or if you want to do like a very short sort of half day session or a sort of session before first break in the morning, that kind of thing. Starts with a 1 minute mentor video as usual. The 1 minute mentor video is from a member of staff from Class VR who actually designs the experiences for them. So you'll be able to watch that, and he talks a little bit about how he designs the scenes and things, which is a really nice example linking to what they'll be learning about in the workshop. So in this session, they're going to learn how to create a clear and accurate map by following and giving precise step-by-step instructions in a virtual environment. And they're going to do that by explaining why their instructions need to be clear to make accurate maps. They're also going to describe problems caused by unclear instructions, and they're going to compare their maps and give feedback to help improve their instructions. So that's what they're going to do in the workshop itself. There's a little bit at the beginning to get them thinking about what they already know about instructions and algorithms, an opportunity for students to share their previous learning. So this asks them to give a definition of an algorithm and an instruction, and then reminding them what an algorithm is and why it's important to give instructions that are clear and precise before they then begin to actually explore the scene itself. So they are introduced to the idea that they're going to be exploring a VR scene based on Jack and the Beanstalk. This slide encourages students to discuss the story elements that are in Jack and the Beanstalk and what they expect to see within the VR experience itself. So we're looking for them having a little bit of understanding of the story itself, the idea that they're expecting to see maybe the cow that he sells to be able to get the magic beans. They might say they're expecting to see the beanstalk itself. They might say they're expecting to see the giant or the giant's castle. But we're expecting them to be able to discuss and explain a little bit around what they'd expect to see in a VR scene that's based around Jack and the Beanstalk. We've separated the activities within the workshop into beginner, intermediate and advanced activities to give a little bit of an idea and pitch the type of work that the students are going to be doing and what level they're working at. So the beginner task is to basically get them thinking about how they're going to create a map, which is going to be, so they're going to create an algorithm, but they're going to be making a map as that algorithm to guide Jack through the scene in VR to the giant's castle. So they need to think about how they're going to give Jack precise directions. So this is where we're asking the students to come up with ideas around how they would do this. So we're expecting them to say that they'll give Jack precise movement in directions. They need to plan the order of tasks Jack must complete. They need to use decision points. So you might actually think about, should I sell the cow or not? And have those points within the algorithm itself. They'll need to test and adjust instructions if Jack encounters obstacles, and they need to think about how they're going to break the journey into smaller, manageable steps. So then we're asking them, how might we actually present this information to Jack? So initially we're just thinking about this in terms of an algorithm, and then we want them to think about how could we present that information. And we want to encourage the students to think about that they could create a map to be able to do that. Next, the students are going to be put into groups with different roles. And this is where the fact that we've only got a smaller set of the VR headsets is actually a real advantage. So the idea is that there's only going to be one person that's actually doing the navigation within the VR environment, and the rest are going to be map makers. So that's where having a small number of headsets works really well, because you don't need to have one headset per child, and you can arrange small groups based around a navigator and the map makers. Then we briefly explain the different roles, what the role of the navigator is. They're the person who wears the VR headset, explores the scene, and describe the journey that Jack needs to make to get to the giant's castle. You might want to assign the roles before running the workshop if you're familiar with the students that you're going to see, because the navigator needs to be quite confident in describing what they're seeing. So the navigator is going to start at Jack's house, then they're going to move past the cow and the magical beans and continue past Jack, who's actually within the scene itself, and then climb up the beanstalk to the giant's castle. It's really important just to remind the navigator, if they get lost at any point, they can return to the house and then restart the route right from the beginning. The map makers are responsible for drawing a map based on the navigator's verbal instructions. It's also, again, important to remind the students that Jack would like you to create a map showing the journey he needs to make to getting from his house to the castle. To make things a little bit more interesting, we're going to assign different groups some criteria that they need to work by. So groups 1 and 2, the map makers are going to be allowed to ask the navigator questions for clarification. But groups 3 and 4, the map makers have to stay silent while the navigator describes the journey Jack will need to make, and that means they cannot ask questions. Before they actually start to do the activity itself, we want to encourage a bit of discussion around this. What difference do they think this will make to the actual groups and the maps that they're going to produce? Excuse me. And so we want to encourage a little bit of a discussion around that. What do they think the obstacles are going to be? Do they think there'll be any difference in the quality of the map that's produced within the groups? So then we're actually going to start to run the task. So I'm going to show you the worksheet that goes alongside this element, because it's really important that you have an idea of what it looks like, and it's what the students are going to be filling in as they navigate the scene. So this is the worksheet that you're going to be seeing with the students working through it. So we've already put the house onto the worksheet and the castle, and they need to be drawing out the map to show the journey between Jack's house and the giant's castle. And this is where the student that is the navigator is going to be describing what he's seeing, what he's doing, the main arc of the story as they're moving through it. Excuse me. They'll also be thinking about the kind of decisions that Jack needs to make in order for him to be able to make his way to the giant's castle. So this you'll need to print out before the session for each of the map makers to be able to produce the map that they will make for Jack. Once your students have completed their maps, then we're going to ask each of the groups to choose the map that they think best represents Jack's journey and then lay it out ready for feedback. So there'll be a bit of time to allow the groups to discuss each of the maps that they've created with their group and decide which one they think best demonstrates that journey. You could, if you have a bit of extra time available, give an extra copy of the map worksheet and get the students to create their final best version. They might want to incorporate different elements from the maps in their group to create sort of one map they think that would best demonstrate Jack's route through from his house to the giant's castle. Once they've done that, all the students are going to walk around the room. They're going to look at the maps that each group have chosen, and they're going to write feedback on sticky notes, focusing on the clarity, accuracy, and helpfulness of the instructions that each group has chosen. Again, if you've got time, you could then have the students using this feedback to add more improvements to the maps that they've created. Once you've completed all the activities, again, depending on how far you go with that, you might decide that actually, because you're working with younger students, it's not worth going on as far as doing the advanced activity. You might stop at just the map making in the intermediate task. You can then have a class discussion, thinking about what role they played, what challenges they faced within that role. You might want to get them to think about how they made sure that the instructions they created were clear and get some feedback and discussion around that. Then there's more questions to get them to think about this a little bit further. What made some instructions easier to follow? You might want to ask them how did asking questions or not change their experience. You might want to ask them why it's important to break down the task into smaller steps, or how the activity relates to writing computer algorithms, to link it back to the computing concepts that we want them to be thinking about during this workshop. The other thing that you can do if you have time as part of the advanced activity is have some students that haven't experienced the navigator talking their way through the Jack and the Beanstalk VR scene, actually explore the VR scene using the map and actually see how well they can navigate the scene using one of the maps that have been produced within the session. But for that, you need some students that haven't actually experienced the session so directly. Then we've got a few checkpoint questions to get students to just demonstrate their understanding of what they've learnt. So there's 5 checkpoint questions, sorry, and then the answers follow after that, just to get them to go through the answers and check their understanding. And that's the end of the workshop. So as I said, it's quite a short one, designed to be an hour to 2 hours, but you could extend this if you wanted to. Delitex, which has got a really good free version, could be a way of then asking the students to take another well-known story, another well-known fairy tale, and actually develop a scene in a similar way to the one they've experienced for Jack and the Beanstalk, and then use that to experience a different fairy tale, perhaps thinking about how they need to map the journey within the VR scene itself. So that's kind of the essence of the workshop itself. I'm going to stop sharing my screen and just see if there's any questions coming through. But that's pretty much it in a nutshell. I'm just going to see if there's any questions. There aren't any questions. So I am assuming that in that case, it's quite straightforward. It really is a quite straightforward workshop in terms of how it works. That is the end of the session in terms of what I'm going to share with you about in the workshop. I'm going to stop here. It will carry on. I'll see if I can stop recording now, if it will let me. I don't think I can just stop the recording. Let's have a look. No, I can. I'm going to stop recording.